All right, we're going to continue to talk about the legacy of Mr. Ratan Tata. It's obviously a sad day for the whole country. Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani is also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Hiranandani, appreciate you joining us, sir. Well, when it comes to Ratan Tata, we can have a conversation for hours and hours because, he was a simple man, but the impact that he's left behind is multifold. Of all, the faculties and the industries and the qualities that he displayed, which one do you think will have an impact the most on the common Indian? I'm not talking about businessmen, but on the common Indian.
I think the quality of empathy to reach out to each and every person was something that he felt to every Indian, to every human being, to every person. A nationalist at heart, an entrepreneur par excellence, industrialist, a person who had the capability of growing Tata Group to a great extent, but it was meshed with empathy and ethical values. I think these two aspects of it were very, very, very important. 60% of the ownership of Tata Group is with Tata Trust. So basically all the earnings that is done by the group is again given on charity, and the earning is very carefully managed to be done with ethical values. So I think that is the most important thing of it all. So how do you actually do that part of it is something which I think was second to none in the entire country. So I think that is most important characteristic of Mr. Ratan Tata, which stands out in the corporate world. But on the personal front, the whole situation was extremely different, where the situation was very different. As an individual, the humanness which he brought about it, the humility and empathy in that side at the human being was something different. And I think that is a quality of Mr. Ratan Tata which I cherish and relish the most, and which I had been privy to in terms of my personal exposure to him, a great man and a great mentor.
So when was the last time you interacted with him? And of course, there's a story also which I fleetingly came across where he cancelled his trip, to take care of his ailing dog. That's one aspect of the great man. But what was your last conversation with him like? And, would you mind sharing that with our viewers?
Well, a part of that was a trust which was created on the 1st of August 2024, this year. Mr. Ratan Tata has created a trust of which he chairs, and he invited me to be a part of that trust. It's a Tata Parkinson Trust. He himself was afflicted with Parkinson. My father, as he knew, was also affected by Parkinson. And that was a thing that was a latest thought in his mind, that we should do more research into it, provide for treatments, and see what we can possibly do in bringing the best treatments for each and every Indian who is affected by Parkinson's. So I think a new trust has been formed, and we are going to take this subject forward. But can you imagine, at 86, and at the time when he himself has been ailing, he decided to put up this trust, which was done, and I have been. It's my great fortune that he invited me to be a part of that trust too. So all in all, you could see that he didn't want to lose a minute of his life right up to the end, even though he was ailing, to think and create of new things, new ideas, and see how you can give more back to society, give back more to every Indian, give back more to every person who's ailing with any ailment. The Tata Trust has done a huge amount of humongous work in cancer. But that was not the end. He just didn't want to. That has been just part of it and do it. And the second part of it, he doesn't talk too much about it at all. So while you would hear a lot about the corporate companies in his thing, you're not going to hear anything about the trust or how and everything is being executed and done. It was kept very quiet, and under the table, and just wanted to do the activity. So the man with it. And the third, extremely humble human being. I think that is extremely important. When you are rich, you are powerful, you're a leader, you're a leading magnet in the world, and recognized by one and all over the globe. And still, you continue to be humble and kind to each and every person that you interact with. I think that is a great quality which I think very, 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 very few of the rich, powerful, and moneyed people are really, want to do. So I think too many qualities really which were outstanding into it, both in industry and in personal character.
And so there's also this, small incident which perhaps not only touched your heart, it touched the hearts of all those people who read it and knew him, that he, when you went to meet him the last time, he insisted on seeing you off to your car despite being unwell.
Yes, so he took the trouble, he took assistance, stood up, came up to the car, and there was absolutely no need to do that, and certainly didn't for me or anybody else, as a matter of fact. But he did that, and it really touched me tremendously. And but that is the difference in a man. He never bothered to see what a great position he has enjoyed. What a great man he is, but he just felt like a humble human being. He just walked out and came right up to leaving me to the car. Can you believe that? And even at this age, and even though he was himself ailing, he just took the trouble of doing it, and it needed a lot of effort to do so.
So what would be his legacy and contribution in terms of seeing off India like he did last night, in terms of our business prowess and our achievement and the startup hub that we have become, in terms of India's GDP, the 3+ trillion economy? What's his contribution according to you?
I think 7 contributions. Number one, he was a true nationalist. He believed that India must grow, and that was, I think, the most important for him. He lived in India. He could have lived anywhere in any part of the globe and done it. He decided that he has to be over here. His philanthropy was only focused on India and Indians, and that part of it was really extraordinary that he do. The young startups that he was fascinated with and enthused them to really start new things, and believed in entrepreneurship of the young people, and new ideas, and a risk-taking ability in the world of business, which I think was second to none. We only talk about jugaad, but this was a commitment to everything that he took up in terms of activity, which was take the things and see to it is right. Small ideas, but actually really big ones. He wanted to make a car which was just 1 lakh of rupees so that every Indian could buy a car. Look at the thought process, I mean, a man who could have the richest cars and owned the JLR, the beautiful Range Rover companies and stuff like that. And he's thinking on the other side about the people having that 1 lakh of rupee car. So I think that ability to take up at the highest level and at the same time be grounded and humble and common man, and also the humanness, not only to human beings, but also to animals. I think this diverse element of him has been extraordinary, a great man. And I'm sure that he should be the next person awarded the Bharat Ratna. I think soon, I'm sure the Prime Minister will recommend him to be the next awardee of the Bharat Ratna. Well deserved, and an example at which we can all emulate.
So one last question before we let you go. So we've been speaking to several politicians as well. In 1970s, when the emergency took place, in the 80s and the 90s, when the liberalization happened, Mr. Ratan Tata went through all these phases. And, there was specific challenges during all these decades, but he managed to survive and get along with the powers that be without endorsing or indulging in corruption in any way. What kind of a standout achievement is that?
Unbelievable. It is unbelievable for a company which is more than 150 years old, and in the last decades of paradigm changes which have taken place, so many challenges as things are concerned, and to stick to his ethical principles and continue to do so indicates his resilience in the business side of the world. So I think that is one aspect of it. And I think kudos to him for making those achievements on the business end. But, I think the values that he brought about takes the businessman to new heights. They can also succeed. A belief is instilled in the Indian that kuch bhi ho, no matter what the environment is, you can still be straight and be very successful. I think a combination of that is a lesson we all have to learn.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.